I hate my life.
Yeah.
A lot of us, that is us right now.
Yeah.
I hate my life. I hate everything about it.
You ever notice how a lot of people say they want a different life? But if you really watch closely, they keep choosing the same one. Not in an obvious way. Not like they wake up and decide, I want to stay stuck. It's quieter than that. It's in the small decisions, the familiar routines, the things they don't question anymore. And the strange part is, they're not lying when they say they want more. They actually mean it. So what's going on? There's this pattern you start to see after a while. People complain about their jobs, their finances, their situation. You hear things like, man, I'm tired of this. I can't keep living like this. I need something better. And for a moment, it feels real. But then, nothing changes. Same job, same habits, same environment, and it's easy to look at that and say, they're just lazy. But that's not it. Not most of the time. What's really happening is harder to see because it's not about effort, it's about identity.
I can't do this anymore. I can't. I just can't. I can't. It's the weekend and I'm already just a little while away from having to go back to the same job that I've been praying for God knows how long to be able to leave. And I've been applying and I've been looking, but I'm not finding nothing. I can't do this anymore. This is not the life I chose. It's not the life. This is not. I mean, I chose it, but it's not the life I prayed for. It's not the life I wanted. Like,
most people don't stay where they are because they can't leave. They stay because, on some level, it still feels like them. Think about it. If someone has spent years being the person who struggles financially, the person who plays it safe, the person who tries but never quite breaks through, that stops being a situation and starts becoming a story, a familiar one. And humans are wired in a very specific way. We will tolerate a lot of discomfort if it's familiar, but we resist discomfort that feels uncertain, even if that uncertainty is the way out. That's why someone can hate their job and still stay, not because they love the job, but because they understand that version of life. They know how to survive in it. They know what to expect. There's a strange kind of stability in that. But the moment you step outside of that, now, you're not just changing your situation, you're challenging your identity. And that's where most people stop. Not because they're incapable, but because it starts to feel like, if I'm not this person anymore, then who am I? You'll see it in subtle ways. Someone gets an opportunity, and suddenly they hesitate. They overthink. They delay. They tell themselves they're not ready yet. But what they're really saying is, this version of me doesn't match where this could take me. So they pull back to what feels like them, even if them is the very thing they complain about. And this is the uncomfortable truth. Wanting a new life is not the same as being ready to become a different person. Because change at that level isn't just external, it's internal. It's identity level. It's waking up and not fully recognizing your own patterns anymore. It's making decisions that feel unfamiliar. It's sitting in discomfort that doesn't have a clear outcome yet. And most people aren't trained for that. We're taught how to survive, how to adapt, how to stay within certain lines, but we're rarely taught how to detach from the version of ourselves that those systems created. So people stay, not because they're weak, but because the unknown version of life feels more threatening than the painful one they understand. And if you're being honest with yourself, you've probably felt this too, in some area of your life, that moment where you know something has to change you, but you don't move, not fully, not yet. That's not laziness, that's friction between who you are and who you would need to become. And here's where things start to shift, not instantly, but clearly. The people who eventually break out don't wait until it feels comfortable. They don't wait until their identity catches up. They move while it still feels unfamiliar, while it still feels slightly wrong, while it still feels like this isn't fully me yet. Because they understand something most people don't. Identity is not fixed, it's built and rebuilt through repeated decisions. Not big dramatic ones, small ones, consistent ones. You don't become a different person overnight, you become a slightly different version of yourself, over and over again, until one day, the old version doesn't fit anymore. And that's when things change, not because life suddenly got easier, but because you stop needing it to feel familiar. So if you're feeling stuck right now, don't just ask, how do I change my situation? Ask something deeper. What version of me is this life attached to? And more importantly, am I willing to outgrow that version, even if it feels uncomfortable at first? Because that's the real shift. Most people don't stay stuck because they can't leave. They stay stuck because they're still holding on to the identity that belongs there. And the moment you start letting go of that, even in small ways, you're already moving, even if it doesn't look like it yet.